Page 51, Don Giovanni. This is a melody from the opera Don Giovanni by Mozart. And it's got eighth notes going nuts. So we're going to be challenged here on the left hand, I think. However, let's just go through the system and see what happens. I look it over. It's 4 lines long. I don't see any repeat signs or anything through it, so we just go through it. Clef signs are treble and bass clef. We have one flat in the key signature. This is in the key of F major, so do the scales, the one for F major and the scale for D minor, because it has one flat also. 4/4 time signature. Now we're coming in on a pickup measure because there's only 2 counts in that first measure, so we're coming in on beat 3. But if you look at the end, there's a half note, that's beats 1 and 2 down there. I'm going to take it one hand at a time because this is a bit tricky. Just make sure we have each hand working okay. The right hand, you're starting here to start. Now we're going to be moving around, but this is where you're going to start. Don't forget the B flat, it's in the key signature. It's 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now they want third finger on that 8th note because we got to come down. We got another note to cover. So we just scrunch up. That way we can get all the way down there. So again, 1 and 2 and scrunch up a little bit. And then reach up, third finger here. And again, I connect everything at first. 1. Now, second line here. You can, if you want, use thumb on the A, because that way you can reach the F a little more easily. Just scrunch up a little bit here. So you're sort of in this position. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then scrunch up third finger now. So we're adjusting our hand position based on what's coming. And that's all we're doing here. And then you do it again. Let's go down to the last line. Second measure, you're here. It's the same as the second line here. But the last 2 measures, it's 1, 5, 4, 2, 1. So if I take all of those notes, those 8th notes here, these, that's just a broken chord, and that's the fingering. That's sort of what we're doing. 1, 5, now it's 2, 4. So I'm in that position. I'm not holding in that position because, again, we don't want the tension. But I'm ready for it. So we're kind of here. Left hand. Well, the left hand's got nuts going on. It's just you're here. Just take it as slow and easy. And all I'm doing is I'm just rocking. I'm walking on the piano, putting weight on one hand or one finger than the other. I'm just kind of walking here. Last measure, the first line here. I'm a 4 here. I'm sort of in this position. Then in the second line, I come up here, a little finger. Do that. Let's go down to the third line. We're here. Now it's a B natural. And then a B flat. You see in the third line, second measure, the B flat. The flat sign they put in parentheses, remember that is a courtesy sign. It is a B flat. You don't need the flat sign because there's a flat in the key signature. But they're doing it to be clear because you just had a B natural and they want you to know it really is a flat. Because you may have thought, well, maybe they made a mistake in it. They wanted it to be natural and they forgot the natural sign. No, it's definitely a flat. So and it's good for the rest of the chord. Okay. I point that out because if you get into writing your own music or whatever, or arranging or whatever, it's important to be clear. Don't let the viewer think, well, maybe you made a mistake or you're not. You know? Be clear. Put in the courtesy signs if you feel they're necessary. Don't put them in all the time. Don't spoil them, but use them when it's you really want to be clear. Now, third line down, third measure. We're here. Again, we got 2 G's. I know there's a C in between, don't care, but this, we're still changing positions on that. Okay, then on the last line, the last two measures, you're here. During the rest, you come down. They want a thumb. You're going to hold the C hand. Yuck. If your hand's big enough, you can just cross over here. But if you got hands that's small, you can't do that. Then you got to use thumb or this. But I would do it that way because my hand's big enough. But otherwise, you got to use thumb on both, and that's unfortunate. Then I'll put the hands together. It's here. Just check to make sure the hands are working together. Here, then here, then here. These are together. And I go through the whole thing like that and work it out. Now when I get down to the bottom, the last two lines, or excuse me, the last two measures, we're here, here, here. Now once I have the hands sort of working together, then I go back over it. Here it's like just take it a phrase at a time. You see the big long curves? Those are phrases here. They're musical sentences. So each one is a musical thought. Well, take this just one phrase at a time and make sure you get that phrase down. And then put that aside, go to the next one, get that phrase down. And then put that aside and go to the third one. And you gradually get all the phrases in the piece. And then once you get all the phrases in the piece done, then you go back through and put it all together. Even though you haven't been practicing the other phrases for a while, that's fine. You'll still be able to play them. You put it all together. It's much better and faster to learn it than always trying to start at the beginning and work through it. It doesn't work very well. Now remember in accidentals, those flat signs and natural signs and things, they're good for that measure, for the rest of the measure, for that staff. Keep that in mind because like in the third line in the first measure, you have a B natural. But in the right hand, that's a B flat because the natural sign in that other staff doesn't apply to that. So don't think they're both natural. No, that's only for the left hand there. Then we add the articulation, the phrasing. The left hand you just connect it, except for the rest. See here, I'm lifting up here, but not here. Put in the phrasing, you don't have to go that fast. I'm just trying to shorten the video up a little bit. Then we add the dynamics, and that applies to the melody, which is the right hand. P at the beginning appears to be the only dynamic they give you. Well, isn't that boring? The whole thing is on the soft side, but if you want to feel getting a little louder and softer once you get into it and you start feeling the music, go with it. But overall, it's soft. This is going to be very soft, very light. Just rocking, just barely light here. As far as the speed goes, again, they don't give us the speed, so it needs to be accurate. What can you do accurately here? It's close enough. Yeah. Don't copy me, please. If I play this a few more times, I would change the dynamics a little. I would do a little different things. It's like in the second line here. So I get this musical motif with this musical thought, this short thought, this here. I would alter those a little bit and play them at different dynamic levels. You know, I might play the first one at soft, then I'd play the next one at soft. Then maybe the third one come back up. Or maybe I play the first one really soft and the next one a little louder and the third one a little louder. But there are different ways of doing it. Depends on what you feel like. You get into the music and you feel it. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3. Feel the natural accents on these. Once you have it sort of learned slowly with no hesitations, come back to the video and let's play it together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. Now because there's eighth notes everywhere, I'm going to put the metronome on eighth notes. So it's beating eighth notes. We're not performing it, we're just checking notes and rhythms. I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. I'm going ready and go and. Those are eighth notes counts of ready, go, quarter notes. Come in when I do. Ready and go and. 3 and 4 and. And 4 and. And 4